Well, hello, and welcome to SoCal Prep Report. My name is Randy Roosevelt. I'll have Tarek Fatal here in a moment from SB Live. Another fine football show for you. We have the Smigiels on from Newbury Park. It's like a family affair. We're going to have Joe the coach, Brady the quarterback, and Bo the receiver. Hopefully we can get them all in the same picture. That will be great. Also, a little later in the program, we're going to talk Dymally football. David Wiltz, their head football coach, coming off a big win over Crenshaw. And Bryant Collins, a running back who had 4 touchdowns in that game, will join us as well. Tarek, great to see you.
Another great Thursday night with you, Randy. Happy to be here.
How old's Isla today?
Isla is now 9 weeks old.
Every week. Happened to be born on a Thursday.
Baby girl, man.
Baby girl, the best.
Yep.
All right, let's start with really an easy one for modern day as we take a look at some of the key games from last week. Of course, this is all setting up the big game this week with St. John Bosco. Modern day just dominant again. 42-0 over J. Sarah. No surprise. J. Sarah's a good football team, but look at the disparity.
It's the big fellas up front on both sides of the ball. As we all know in high school football, I think the two toughest things about high school football is stopping a good pass attack, because if you got a guy that can put it wherever he wants, that's difficult to defend. And then, of course, if you got some beef up front, that's hard to overcome. Servite
scored a lot of points against St. John Bosco. Braves scored a lot more points. It was another blowout, as you're going to see by the arithmetic on the board. 56-27. Caleb Sanchez is playing great football, the quarterback of Bosco.
That's right, Caleb Sanchez. You know, an example of waiting your turn. This is a guy that sat behind Pierce Clarkson and other quarterbacks at St. John Bosco, didn't transfer, easily could have went somewhere else, maybe advanced his profile per se, waited his turn, and now he's got the Braves in national championship contention this week.
You know who's a good quarterback? Kevin Hawkins at El Camino Real, just a 10th grader. El Camino with a big win at Taft, 37-32. Check this final highlight out. Throw to the middle of the field, it's caught. Touchdown, El Camino. Coulter.
For a touchdown with
14.8. 36-32 ECR. Made the extra point and finished up 37-32. That's 2 games in a row. Earlier against Chatsworth, they won on the last play of the game on a walk-off defensive play. The Royals are great theater right now for LA 36.
They are, the West Valley League, a little bit of drama. How about those Royals getting 2 pivotal wins in back-to-back weeks? Gotta love the battle for Woodland Hills. ECR comes out up top.
Another big battle, literally and figuratively, was Narbonne and Banning. Narbonne won the game 22-21. It's a great win for them in the Marine League. But after, they kind of collided, and it wasn't too pretty.
I think some might call it a brouhaha. Yeah. A brouhaha broke out. Look, I'm not saying it got sensationalized, but it was a little bit of, hey, don't talk to me like that. Hey, no, and then a little bit of a scuffle. I don't see that there was too much to it, but hey, obviously a 1-point game. It was heated.
Yeah, the city section is reviewing what they're going to do with those 2 teams. Nobody's going to get suspended.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Dymally, who we're going to talk to later, David Wiltz's club. A great win. This is a big one in the Coliseum League, knocking off Crenshaw.
Hey, man, as a reporter and media guy, we've seen the Stephen A. Smiths of the world and so on, and I'm not saying I'm of that ilk, but you have teams that you see earlier on in the year and you go, hey, you know what? This is a good team that can make some noise. And so far, Dymally has made me look real good, like I know what I'm talking about. They could win the Coliseum League.
Yeah, the challengers are 6-1, and we'll have more on them later in the program. And Newbury Park over Agoura. Yeah, Agoura's got a good football team. Agoura came into this game undefeated.
Correct.
But the Panthers light them up.
Shane Rosenthal, we got some highlights coming here. Brady Smigiel to Shane Rosenthal. It was like a broken record. We kept hearing it over the PA over and over again. But Shane Rosenthal, kind of this slot receiver type player that really can just get open at any point. Not only did he have 3 touchdowns in the game, Randy, he had 2 interceptions in the game. So only a junior, a dynamic playmaker for the Panthers. That was 1 touchdown in the corner, and then this other one just getting open. Nice rollout from Smigiel, and Rosenthal getting the catch in the end zone.
Yeah, get used to that combination. Smigiel, the quarterback, his brother Bo's on the perimeter, but Smigiel, the quarterback, is a sophomore. That wide receiver, Rosenthal, is a junior.
Correct.
So that's going to be one of the more lethal combinations going forward. Already very good. Can you imagine next year with another year together? They're going to be really good. Speaking of the Smigels, they're coming on right now. You got them. Joe, Brady. There they are. And Bo. We got them all.
Great.
There they are.
Fellas, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Joe, my first question to you is going to be about emotion. Obviously, you're a successful head coach. How do you feel and do you think about it when Brady throws a touchdown to Bo? Are you on the sideline thinking it's just another touchdown for my team, or are you a proud father at that point?
Well, it's a little bit of both. And the whole thing with them playing is I try to separate home from football, but when they hook up, it's kind of hard not to get emotional. I'm really blessed to be able to be in these kids' lives, not only my own, but everybody else, and make a difference with them going forward.
Brady, everyone, every week, it's how many touchdowns is Brady going to throw? And we know you had a great year last year. You're on to a big year this year. But you've thrown a couple more interceptions this year. There has been some more learning for you at the position. You're only a sophomore. Talk about what you've learned through throwing a couple more interceptions this year.
Yes, sir. It's definitely just a different situation. I'm pretty much only Shane's the only returning receiver with Bo being hurt, but a completely different situation, just building chemistry all over again. And it's fun to have the highlight throws, the posts, the corners, the fades, but sometimes I get a little too greedy and I just got to throw it away or go back to my check down.
I got to get a question into Bo. Bo, you were injured last year. How difficult was it for you to sit around, watch your dad have some success, your brother have success, and you have to try to rehab? Congratulations on your rehab and your success this year, but how trying was that for you a year ago?
Thank you. It was pretty tough, but I was pretty lucky to be around such great receivers last year, like Charlie Simmons and Casey Needham. They taught me a lot while I was injured, and yeah, it helped me a lot this year.
Do you feel like, Joe, you're the first family of high school football? I mean, you're the head coach. You got your two kids playing for you. That's got to be just a great feeling. I don't know if there's any coach that has two kids going at the same time.
Yeah, I'm very blessed. We're having a lot of fun with it. It's hard at times, but it's also a lot of fun. These are times that I'll never get back, and the times that are tough, I just got to think about what we're doing together and the memories that we're making.
All right, let's talk about your football team. I mean, every week I talk about the Panthers, and I say you should have your own network because your games are so exciting and high scoring. What's it like being in a lot of shootouts? Joe, from a coaching perspective, Brady from a quarterback perspective, and Bo from a receiving perspective. What do you think of all these shootouts that you guys are having?
Well, the whole thing is, we like to play fast. We like to get on the line of scrimmage and get after it. The things that we run into, the little problems that we run into, is when teams have, platoons that can come on, bring on a whole new defense and a whole new offense and be fresh. So we run about 30 guys that are healthy right now. So, I went back to Ole Miss this year and tried to get some advantages based upon, our weaknesses. And it's helped so far. But, we have a long ways to go. And obviously, our opponent this week is tremendous.
Brady, talk about your role as a leader. Obviously, you play the quarterback position, natural leadership position. You had to probably do some leading. Last year was only a freshman. I know you had some seniors, but now you're a sophomore, you're a returner. Talk about your leadership approach. Are you a vocal guy? Do you lead by example?
Yes, sir. It's a much different approach, like I was saying, than last year. Last year I had a bunch of guys with high egos, really good athletes, but they were all seniors. They all knew what they were doing. A lot of them started as sophomores. So last year I was kind of just trying to lead by example and fit in, gain their respect. This year it's completely different. This year I'm one of the biggest vocal leaders, just trying to help these guys out because a lot of these guys, we're a young team. We haven't had a lot of guys play varsity last year. So just being a vocal leader, helping these guys out whenever I can, especially the receivers, because like I said, not a lot of them play varsity football. So just helping them out with whatever I can, just trying to be vocal because it helped a lot last year when the seniors were vocal.
Brady, you're putting up historical numbers. You threw 44 touchdowns as a freshman a year ago. You got 35 already this year. How do you block out the noise when you hear guys like me saying, hey, this Brady Smigel's really good. He's going to go to a high D1. He might be an NFL quarterback. How do you keep it current? How do you stay in the here and now?
Yes, sir. Obviously, it's really cool. I'm blessed to be in the situation that I am. But one of the big reasons why we stayed at Newbury Park is because I could play with these guys, my dad and my brother, and my dad would be the head coach. But I grew up in Newbury Park, just trying to be a kid as much as I can. I mean, all kids on this team I grew up with, and just trying to be a kid as much as I can. I just turned 17 years old, so just being a kid and just enjoying my childhood and playing high school football. I'm just trying to stick to that as much as I can.
Bo, describe for the viewers out there, they know you're a wide receiver now, but just what kind of wide receiver are you? You speed, possession, good route runner? Kind of explain your game.
I think I'm like a possession, like route runner. I'm not the fastest receiver, but I'll try my best to get open and I'll be there for the quarterback.
Well, guys, congratulations. You're out to a 5-2 year. You've had some great games. You're going to have another tough one tomorrow with Lucerna of Whittier. That will not be an easy assignment. In fact, Tarek and I are going to talk about that game at the end of the show when we highlight some of the key games. But congratulations. You are the first family not only of Ventura County high school football, but Southern California. And we thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
There
fellas.
they are, Joe, Brady, and Bo. What a group.
I think that's the first time I've ever had 3 guys in one shot on the show. So they're just setting records every week.
Well, they're in shape. They fit in the shot. You get 3 guys in there. I don't know if you can do that.
I got to watch Brady last year, of course, as a freshman, and then got to see him last week against Agora. Fun team to watch, and they're only getting better.
All right, let's move ahead and look at the CIF Southern Section Top 10. SB Live every week comes out with Tarek's Top 10, and we start with Mater Dei as the top-ranked team. No shock, they're undefeated. You have Centennial, which is playing right now and winning big. St. John Bosco, 3. Sierra Canyon, Long Beach Poly, the top 5. Of course, Bosco and Mater Dei will play. We'll discuss that game later. Rancho Cucamonga, Viejo, Murrieta Valley, Sarah of Gardena, and J. Sarah. Your thoughts on your top 10?
Well, in the next 2 weeks, we could see some major movement. Obviously, Mater Dei Bosco, that's this week. Sierra Canyon plays Sarah of Gardena next week. And Rancho Cucamonga is going to play Damien next week, who we don't. Damien's like 13 or 14 in my rankings, right in there. So what I'm trying to get at is there's a lot of head-to-head top games where you could see some leapfrogging because they're going to beat each other. So watch out for the movement in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then they'll end up playing each other in the playoffs anyway. So they're going to be, everybody's going to play everybody again. Top performances. We got to start with those quarterbacks from Mater Dei and St. John Bosco. We'll start with Elijah Brown, a big game for Elijah in the win over Jay Sarah. He throws for better than 300 yards. Brown has 4 touchdowns as well. You see him on the board. There's Caleb Sanchez from Bosco. What do you think we're setting up? We're leading up to the big game later in the show.
Interesting.
Sanchez with the 5 touchdown passes did one better than Elijah. Of course, they'll play against one another tomorrow night. Let's move ahead. How about this performance from Julius Gillick of Edison High School? 315 yards and 6 touchdowns in the win over Huntington Beach.
Yeah, good program at Edison. I saw them earlier in the year, but they did lose to a good Palos Verdes team. But not surprising to see talent out of that program.
Of course, that's a school record, the 315. Speaking of school records, Aiden Rubin from San Clemente, 273 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns in a victory over Ayala. Those are good numbers, aren't they?
Yeah, really, really good numbers. And it's hard to accumulate that in a game, so clearly they kept feeding them the ball.
This is a segment that Tarek has been looking forward to. He wanted to bring David Wiltz on.
Oh, gosh.
He wanted to bring Bryant Collins on, talk about Dymally football. They're coming off a nice win over Crenshaw. We're going to bring David Wiltz on right now. Coach, I remember you from our good days at Jefferson. We had you on an LA 36 game when you knocked off Canoga Park. Congratulations on the turnaround at Dymally into really getting it going at that school. The challenge of the challengers you've been able to overcome. Congratulations on your great start.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, tell us about this win over Crenshaw. What was the key to victory knocking off Robert Garrett's team? How'd you get it done?
For us, it was we practiced all week or preached all week to contain the quarterback. And that was pretty much our game plan. We just felt like he was the best athlete on the team. He was dynamic, and if we could keep him in the pocket and keep him from scrambling out and busting out, we should be all right.
David, I got to see you in person. Actually, the one game I came to it was the only game you lost this year when you went up against San Pedro. But but all that to say, I saw what you guys were capable of. I felt like that was your first big test, and I thought you passed it. The scoreboard didn't say it, but I thought there was something special about this team. You go out, you beat Crenshaw, you got the inside track for the Coliseum League. Be honest with us. Did you expect this kind of season from this team?
Yes, I did. I couldn't tell you exactly who we were going to beat, but I always felt like our record at the end of the season should be about 8-2, 9-1. I just felt like with the caliber of skill position players that we have, that if we could coach up our line, that we should be able to compete with anybody in the city section.
The numbers in your program I know are low. You're suiting up 32, 33, maybe a 35th guy if you're lucky. Can you talk about the challenge of having skill guys trying to play with athleticism and speed, but there's an endurance and stamina challenge there too? How do you try and balance that?
Well, I think it's at practice, right? Like we preach to the kids that it's worth you know, and we're going to face programs that have 60 kids, 65 kids, but you have to be conditioned, and that's why you got to take practice serious and try to make sure that you're ready for the game and ready for the moment when it's had, because at the end of the day, it's 11 versus 11. So it's not 60 versus 35. It's your best 11 versus my best 11. So,
David, tell me where you think city football is in the LA area. You know, over the years, it's always been Crenshaw and Dorsey. You had some good teams at Jefferson. Now you're building the program at Dymally. Can we build it all back up in the inner city?
yes, I definitely think so. I think that what's happened is you have more teams that are better and can compete with each other instead of just the top tier teams like the traditional teams that are competing. You have it's like it's wide open. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe like 5 through 25. I mean, it's wide open. You know what I mean? And that's where the city section is. I think it took a hit with the pandemic, but I think it's been getting better year after year.
I talked about it the night I came to watch you play. Your players seem to know the goal. You guys talk about it. Open division playoff berth. I've looked at Cal Prep's rankings. You guys are right there, and I think you know it too, but you got to get some business done in the Coliseum League. As you inch closer with each win, can you feel the excitement from your players knowing that, you know, you guys are very likely to be an open division team if you take care of business?
Yes, definitely. And I think like just everything about them, their aura, the way they approach school, the way they approach practice is much different because they know this is serious. And in order to compete with the best teams and to claim that you're one of the best teams in the LA City section, you're going to have to get ready and you're going to have to be ready. And that's what I preach each and every day. And the players show up and they're ready to practice. And we've just having, you know, days and weeks worth of good, really, really good practices that have made them better.
I want to talk about David Wiltz because, again, when you were at Jefferson, you were running an offense that was like from the 40s and 50s, running from all different angles, wing T, double wing, whatever you want to call it. Now you're running spread stuff. Mm-hmm. So how have you changed over the years to accommodate the current football that we see played at the high school level?
Well, I just think like, you know, it's a learning process. So my first couple of years, I ran the offense that I knew from high school. When I was in high school at Narbonne, we ran the double wing T, and that's what I brought. But once you start to expand and you get different types of players, and you're able to expand the offenses that you run. So I started to look into other things, and that's what we adapted to.
Last one for me, Coach. For the viewers out there, give your players some shine, man. Rally off 5 or 6, 4, however many players you want to go crazy with. Who are the heavy hitters for the Dymally Challengers?
Well, you got Tremonte Lowe, number 5. He's our safety and a wide receiver. He's dynamic. You have number 3, Brian Collins. He's our running back. You got Milton Ketchen, man, number 6. He's running back and linebacker, leads the team in tackles. You got number 0, Tavion Reynolds. He's like a little blur. Little guy can go. You got Trayvon Jackson, number 4. That's our lockdown corner. You got Reyes on the other end. That's the other lockdown corner. You got Kamari Webster in the middle. I mean, I like the team that we have. And then, of course, it's led by our left-handed quarterback, Jermaine Whitney.
Well, congratulations, Coach, on a really great year, a breakthrough year. Good luck in the Open Division. I think you'll get there. You do have a little bit of a trap game with Dorsey coming up in a couple weeks. That could be dangerous. But if you get by the Dons, you should be in the Open Division against the likes of Birmingham and Garfield and all those guys, and maybe Carson, who looks really good as well. But congratulations on a tremendous turnaround season.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having us on.
All right, that's Coach David Wiltz. And we had Bryant Collins, but I think he hit the hole so quickly running with the ball, he ran right out of our screen because he was with us before. It's a little secret. He probably got a little camera shot, but he's not that shy kid. They're a good story, aren't they?
It is. It is a good story. And for those watching, please, SI.com/high school sports. Check out, or just Google Dymally football. It'll come up. But you're talking about a program that's not just dealing with low numbers, but the challenges of the inner city, shootings and things of that nature. And these kids find a way to still get to practice and get their grades in and go to school and all that stuff, man. So a lot more going on off the field at Dymally. A lot of good things going on.
Dymally is in our top 10 in the LA City section rankings, courtesy of Tarek Fatal.
Well, they deserve to be in there.
I don't disagree with you. Birmingham deserves to be number 1.
They do.
Jim Rose's team is now rolling. Carson is impressive at 8. No, let's not kid ourselves. They're beating teams in the Marine League, and they're beating them up.
Yes. I saw Carson against Narbonne, and I said, wait a minute. These guys got a chance, man. And Jerry Misa Alafua
there you go.
is quite the player and a scholarship player at the next level. So I'm seeing a Birmingham-Carson Open Division final, and I'm telling you right now, I'm calling it right now, that might be a pick'em game. I'm calling that. That's a pick'em game.
That's a great game. Garfield's playing tremendous. Gardina's a surprise in the Marine League. Obviously, they're going to hook up with Carson in the league play. Dymally, we just documented. Pally continues to win games in the Western League. Granada Hills is playing better, and we're going to have their game on in a couple of weeks against El Camino Real. Franklin, Narbonne, Mark Ayahinachor.
What a
tremendous
name.
Player, tremendous linebacker.
You nailed that.
Yeah, he's a junior. And Banning, a lot of Marine League schools, a lot of talent in the top 10. Everyone thinks the city's a little bit down. I don't.
It's deserved. The Marine League is the best league in the city this year. Usually West Valley League's in there, but I think Marine League's the league this year.
Key games. All right. Here we go.
Come on, baby.
St. John Bosco.
We're going to Bellflower.
Hosting Mater Dei. Mater Dei ranked number 1 in the country, ranked number 1 in the Southland, number 1 in the state, number 1 in the world. St. John Bosco, very good, top 5 in America.
I was told and asked today from my company at SB Live, we need a pick and a prediction on a score.
On this show?
No, but I'm going to say it now.
Okay.
I'm thinking Mater Dei, I think it's going to be low scoring.
Okay.
20-14 Mater Dei.
It's not going to be that low scoring. Not with those quarterbacks and not with those offenses. And I get that they both have really good defenses. I think Mater Dei is going to win the game 31-17, something like that.
Okay. Remember, last year, the first game was 17-7.
Right.
And then the second game was 24-22. So, I'm not.
But they have firepower, too.
They do. They did last year.
I know, but there's like 70 D1 athletes that are going to play in this game. And I'm not kidding. I think there's 70 D1 athletes. All right, Chino Hills and Rancho Cucamonga. You've seen Rancho play this year. You really like them. Chino Hills has a good football team, but this is a huge task.
So, you kind of mentioned the word trap game. I think that's kind of what this is because, Damien, also in the Baseline League, has a bye. So they're not playing anybody. They're going to be unbeaten next week. Rancho Cucamonga is playing Chino Hills. Rancho Cucamonga plays Damien next week. So Rancho needs to keep their eyes on the prize and focus on Chino Hills to maintain their unbeaten season. And we got pretty much a winner-takes-all Baseline League matchup next week between Damien and Rancho Cucamonga.
This next one is one of the great rivalry games in Southern California. We don't talk about it a lot anymore, but Hart Canyon, out in their neck of the woods, out by Magic Mountain. You know, this is a big game. It's always at College of the Canyons. They have identical records. This could be fun.
It's an old school game. I'm with you. You know, Harry Wiltz used to be the coach at Canyon, and Hart's had the Harringtons, and the list goes on of the great coaches and players that have been in that game. Canyon hasn't been good for a while, so good for them.
How about Lucerna, Whittier, and Newbury Park? We were talking to Joe Smigiel about this game, and he's really concerned.
You know, Lucerna's played a tough schedule and is well equipped for a Newbury Park offense. I wouldn't call it a toss-up. Lucerna probably has a little bit of an edge there in that game, but Newbury Park should be fine.
Dorsey Crenshaw is obviously another big game in the city section, another great rivalry game. Dorsey, you see, the record 2-5, but they played a tough schedule, and they've won their last two. They're coming on.
Another classic in the Coliseum League. I think Dorsey's actually better than their record shows.
Yeah, I think they are too. And Gardena, undefeated, is going to get challenged at Banning.
I'm kind of sniffing maybe Banning gets Gardena in that game.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility.
And then things get shaken up in the Marine League a little bit.
How about the game at SoFi?
Yes.
Tomorrow night.
Yes.
Downey and Warren.
That's going to be a Gateway League thriller. The Warren has won the last 5 games they've played, so Downey's looking for some revenge. The Downey district really wanted this game to happen at SoFi. It was actually talked about having that game last year, but it didn't work out, so now the game is happening this year. $35 for the ticket at SoFi Stadium. They're expecting 12,000 people to show up. Hey, why not?
And a great experience for the players to get the opportunity to play at SoFi. There's going to be a big basketball tournament at Crypto.com, the Coastal Catholic Classic. It's going to be good in January.
Notre Dame of Sherman Oaks. Notre Dame
it's
of
only
Sherman
the
Oaks.
aches for their opponents who can't beat them.
Notre Dame of Sherman Oaks is playing De La Salle, if I'm not mistaken, at 8 o'clock. That's like the headliner. So you're going to see Bryce James, the son of LeBron James, play at Crypto.com. That's pretty much the whole that's like the big draw there.
That's Bronny's brother, by the way. It's not LeBron's son. It's Bronny's brother.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. We have some promos to do.
Okay, Randy.
Prep Sports Night Live, Wednesday evenings.
My favorite show.
It's one of my favorites.
Every
They're on
week.
Normally at 9 on Wednesdays, and they'll be on at 9 next Wednesday. There it is.
I DVR
No,
it.
7 o'clock. No, we're on at 9. Yeah, you DVR. They're on from 7 to 8. We're on at 9 o'clock. That's why I mixed it up. 7 o'clock, Rich Estrella, Bob Gibson. For my money, the most entertaining high school sports show on TV.
I don't doubt it.
They have a lot of fun. Our show, of course, will be back here next week. We got other things to talk about. We got a great game next week that group is going to telecast. We have information on that game as well. Prep Sports Media's game next week is Beckman against Irvine, so that'll be a great game there at 7 o'clock. That's a heavy rivalry game as well, so look for that one. And, of course, we'll have an El Camino game next Friday night on the 20th at Granada Hills. That should be sensational. Flag football news. Earlier today, Birmingham over San Fernando. A big game in flag football in the LA City section. Rose was dynamic.
Jessica Rose, that's Jim Rose's daughter, had 2 touchdowns, and I believe Birmingham won 25-20.
All right, the big news tomorrow. Tomorrow's the news that we've all been waiting for. Where is Trent Perry going to go to college?
Yeah,
He's going to commit tomorrow.
I think I know where he's going.
The top player in the state, at least in the backcourt, led Harvard Westlake to the state basketball championship. You love hoops. Where's he going to go?
I think he's going to be a Trojan.
I do too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like TCU, Gonzaga. You have the list. There's a couple other,
I don't have
couple
the
other
list.
high-level programs, and I think he's going to end up going to USC.
Where are you going tomorrow?
Tomorrow I will be at St. John Bosco in Bellflower.
You get to see the big game.
I will be there at the big game in the press box, rubbing elbows with Eric Sonheimer and Steve Fryer and John W. Davis from Long Beach.
Tony
Press
Moskal,
Telegram.
our buddy who's on the
Yep,
telecast.
Tony Moskal and all the guys from David Otta's, of course, shout out David Otta, the production guy out
Worked
there.
with David a long time, good guy.
So, yeah, it'll be a great I'm actually coming on at halftime. They got me doing something. At
Really?
halftime.
You're going to get some TV exposure.
Yeah, talking a little bit about.
He needs more TV exposure. The guy's on like
I don't even know
every
what we're
channel
talking
now.
about. Probably breakfast burritos.
It used to be Eric Sondheimer is the guy that was on TV on every channel talking about preps. No longer.
It's
Tarek
that's
Fatal.
actually true. I'm like, that's actually true. But
I'm not
yeah,
here to lie, for
yeah,
goodness
no,
sake.
that's true. That's
Our show's over, you know.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up then.
Well, we got to wrap it up. Watch the game tomorrow. It's going to be a great game. St. John Bosco and Modern
Who do you
Day.
think's going to win? Real quick, come on.
I said Modern Day, 31-17.
Oh, that's right. You did say 31-17. Sorry.
We're out of here. By the way, it's Agora.
No, it's Agora.
No. It's Agora. I'm telling you.
When
We'll
I
see
go-
you next week, everybody.
I think it's Agora.
No.
I've been saying Agora my whole life, so I got to stick
It's
with
Agora.
it.
No, it's Agora.
I got to stick with
No.
Agora Hills.
No.
I've been saying it my
It's
whole
Agora
life.
Hills, right.
Say Agora one time.
Agora.
See? There you see how good it sounds?
No, it sounds good, but it isn't right.
That's like when people say Devonshire.
It isn't Devonshire. It's Devonshire.
I agree.
Okay.
So why can't it be Agora?
I don't know.